Did you know not all seeds are created equal? Choosing the right seed can make or break your garden for the upcoming year. In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 different types of seeds for your garden so you can make the right choice. Hi, I'm Mark, and this is the Davis Farmstead, and we're passionate about our gardens and our vegetables. Matter of fact, we market garden, we go to the farmer's market, we have a farm stand. So picking the right vegetables to grow is very important to us, and that's why we're so passionate about it. So the 4 types we're going to explore, the 4 different types of seeds are heirloom, or OP, open pollinated, and I'm going to put those together and I'll kind of break those down a little bit. Hybrid, organic, and GMO. So I'm going to dive into all the different ins and outs of those different types of seeds, and hopefully at the end of the video you'll have a good knowledge base, and this is the base, so you can create that perfect garden for yourself. So I'm going to start with heirloom, or OP, open pollinated. And heirloom is a vegetable seed that has been passed down from generations to generation to generation. They're kind of an old-timey seed, like something that's passed down that you've grown, and you save the seeds, and you save the seeds, and you hand them down, and you hand them down. That's an heirloom. They're known for, their flavor. They're supposed to have a lot more flavor to them. They got a lot of historical value, especially if you pass them down from generations. They've been passed from your grandparents down, so they have a lot of history and a lot of value to you. And OP, which is open pollinated, and I grow a lot of OPs. I grow a lot of OP peppers. Now they're not necessarily heirloom, but they're kind of in the same category. OP and heirloom, you can save the seeds and grow for the next year. So, and that's one plus for them. The downside to heirlooms are you don't get that disease package that you can get with the different ones that we want to talk about, and they're a little more prone to pests, and to me they're harder to grow. I do grow some heirloom, especially tomatoes. I grow some Marglobe and or Marglobe. I grow a Cherokee Purple, and that's a classic example of heirloom. And I grow a Mortgage Lifter, and so some years they do good, some years they don't do good. Last year they didn't do very well, so you're gonna get that hit and miss, and but that's something to keep in mind. To me they're a little more difficult to grow, especially for a beginner. And especially to me, like on a large scale, it's a little bit hard for me to keep track of. So that's one downside. But a Cherokee Purple, a Mortgage Lifter, a Brandywine, those are some of your classic heirloom tomatoes, and that's what everybody loves. And of course, we grow, quite a few of those too. So an heirloom is, it's an old-timey flavor. It can be passed down. And an OP, open pollinated, is kind of the same thing. Like I grow a lot of bell peppers that are OP. You can save those seeds for the next year too. So that's one of the advantages, and that's one of the big advantages why a lot of people grow them, because they can save the seeds and the flavor. And the downside, of course, is your disease package is not as good. Your fungus, they're more susceptible to fungus, especially in the south where it gets hot and moist, and a little more prone to pests. The next seed type is hybrid. And when we say hybrid, we don't mean, now there's a big difference between hybrid and GMO, and I'll get into the GMO later. But the hybrid is a cross between 2 plants. So it's kind of like you take one tomato of one variety and another, and you cross-pollinate them, and you get a variety that's superior. It's got traits from both plants, kind of like a golden doodle, or a dog. Like how you crossbreed some dogs, you get a golden doodle or something like that. So that's basically what you're doing. It's just they used to do it in corn, like they do like 2 varieties of one, and they do one variety, and then when the silk come up, they pull all the silk, so it'd be cross-pollinated with the first variety. So that's all kind of in the nature part, and I grow a lot of hybrid tomatoes. And the old hybrids, a lot of people will say they don't taste as good, but this new variety that they've come out with, to me, tastes just as good, look just as good. You don't get as much blemishes on them. To me, they're easier to grow. You're going to have a good disease package on them, a good fungicide package. You're not going to get any of that stuff. It's less spray. And cutworms will still get them and stuff, but they are a little resistant to some, like you can look on there, there's a long list of stuff that are designed to not affect them. So, and that's why we grow them. I grow mostly hybrid, especially tomatoes. Now the other ones like peppers, squash, and all that is pretty much just OP. But mainly tomatoes. And I do grow some hybrid peppers, hybrid pumpkins I'll grow, hybrid cantaloupe I like to grow. I don't like the old-timey heirloom cantaloupes, are hard for me to grow. And when we first did our very first market garden, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I watched a YouTube video and the guy said, yeah, you need to grow, I can't remember what he said, maybe Brandywine red, Brandywine pink, Brandywine yellow, and that's all you need to grow. You'll sell like hotcakes. Well, that's what I did. That's what all the plants I put out, and I think I got 2 tomatoes out of 150 plants. So it just got hot and moist, and the disease just set down on them, and the wilt came on them, and I mean it was tough. It was a tough year. So that's why I kind of backed up and started growing hybrids. I found some really good hybrids to grow in my area, and they do really good for us. And of course, we still have problems, and you can watch some of our old videos, especially from this past year. You can see the problems we've had with tomatoes, and but we have really good luck with cantaloupe, watermelons. I grow hybrid watermelon, tomatoes. I'm sure there are other stuff. Some peppers are hybrids, and I kind of, especially if you're a beginner, I would look at a hybrid. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not, modified in the lab, and we'll go over that with GMO. So the pluses of hybrid, they're easier to grow. Now the downside to hybrids is you cannot save your seeds. And I will attest to this personally. I was growing a hybrid okra plant variety, and I saved seeds, and they did okay the first year. Second year, and again a little worse. And what they'll do is you don't know what they're going to turn out. So if you save seeds from a hybrid and you replant them, you're going to get traits. Some plants will have traits from the one side of the family and the other side of the family. So it got where the third year I grew and you couldn't even eat the okra. It was so hard. Even when it was little, it's just like rock. It's just hard as a rock. So you can probably, I got away with it for 1 year, maybe 2. I started telling the difference there. So, and I should have, a light bulb should have went off. I should have stopped there. In the third year I didn't have any okra, so I had to replant it all, and luckily we got a little bit in at the end of the year. So I will attest to that. Hybrids, you don't know what you're going to get. It might turn out fine, it might not. So it's a crapshoot. So that's the downside with hybrids. You cannot save the seeds, and you have to buy new seeds every year, which to me heirloom OPs are not that expensive anyway, so I don't save any of those. And some hybrids are, mainly tomatoes, they're kind of pricey, but the rest of them are, reasonable. So I don't really worry too much about price that way. So, but they're a lot better than they used to be. So my advice to you, if you're a beginner, hit the hybrid. The next one's organic, and that means that it's a seed that's been raised up without any kind of pesticides or chemical fertilizer. And I do buy some organic seeds. Now we're not organic certified, and at this point in our operation we will not be, but I don't know about it in the future. We might go that way, I don't know. But that's the main thing. So if you're really concerned about some kind of residual in your seed, go with organic, and it'll list on there when you go in the seed catalog. It'll say organic so-and-so cucumber, organic so-and-so squash, organic so-and-so tomato. So, and I buy quite a few, especially cucumbers. I buy a lot of organic seeds, and some squash I do. So I just do it because of the variety, like a Calypso or Eureka or something like that. I don't necessarily look for the organic. So, but if you're the type of person that you're really worried about that residual in there, go with the organic. To me, I mean, I use organic fertilizer here. Very little spray. We want to spray if we have to, and I haven't sprayed in 2 years, so for bugs. And so, you know, I figure most people's kind of like me. I don't worry about it a whole lot. So I will say we kind of tend to grow natural, is what we say. We don't say organic. And the last category is GMO, and that's the one thing, if I was a gardener, that we don't even need to worry about is GMO. That's just genetically modified, and that's something that's done in a lab. So I don't know any vegetable seeds besides sweet corn that is genetically modified. I know that, you know, I see a lot of catalogs that come out and says all our seed is GMO. Well, I mean, any seed's going to be GMO because none of it's modified in a laboratory. I mean, you couldn't. It's very expensive. Like this corn they grow out, you know, when you go out west, and all this corn, Roundup Ready corn, and all these soybeans and all that stuff. Now that's genetically modified, but you know, I can't afford to buy that kind of seed. Even if they had it in tomatoes or whatever, but I don't see them ever doing that. Well, I'm not saying ever. They probably will at some point in the future, but I know now I notice that you can buy sweet corn that's Roundup Ready, but it's really expensive too. So I mean, that's not something I'm gonna be buying unless the price really comes down. So I wouldn't worry about GMO. It's kind of a racket now. You know, people trying to sell you GMO, non-GMO vegetable seeds. And they charge more for them than it's the same seeds you get anywhere. So keep that in mind, and I hope this has been a help to you. So my advice, if you're a beginner, look for a hybrid to start with, and then you can branch off into the heirlooms when you get a little more experience and you know what to look for. Recognize, you know, when you have problems. If you catch it early, it's not that bad. But you know, I would recommend starting with a hybrid. And also, you need to kind of ask around or do some research. You know, you need to figure out what zone you're in and what some seeds varieties do better. Like I'm in 7B, so I try to look for all seeds that do good in my area, and I've got a video coming up on that, how I do that. And everything, all the seeds I'm buying this year. So I'm gonna do a whole video on that. That'd be in a couple weeks. You know, it's first week or first day of December, or first few days, so we gotta get busy planning and everything. That's why I'm starting this now. So I'll have a video on how you do that. But keep that in mind. You know, your variety for your zone. You need to figure out what zone you're in. And I would, like I said, I've said 100 times, you know, I would look for a hybrid. There's nothing wrong with hybrid seed. So each type of seed has its pros and cons. You know, you can do a lot more research, and there's a lot more people at these universities that know, got more than I'll ever know. Just going on my experience here, we've been growing a garden. We've been market gardening for almost 8 years, and we've had a garden for 25 years. So, you know, I love to experiment. Like I'll get into that in another video, but we're really going heavy experimental this year on some different varieties of stuff, different vegetables that we're going to grow and try to sell at the market. So, you know, just kind of do just a little bit of research. You know, everything's got pros and cons, and then that's how you make your decision. So let me know in the comments down below what's your go-to. You go 100% heirloom, 100% hybrid. You don't think about it. You go like me, you do a mix. So leave in the comments. I'd be interested to know what everybody else does. Hey, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate everybody watching. I hope this was a help. We need to start planning, getting ready for the garden, 2025 garden season. So everybody get ready, hit that subscribe, support your local farmer, and we'll see you down here in the farm in the next video.